Here we go. Going live, and we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Teacher Kasie, and I am here with Adam Mangana. How you doing, Adam?
Perfect. Kasie, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be able to talk with you this morning.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on here too. I'm super curious to hear what you have to say. So, in my travels as an online entrepreneur, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really innovative people. I am an administrator for several Facebook groups, and in this role, I was able to meet my guest for today's interview. Adam Mangana is the executive director of Optima Domi
That's
and
perfect.
co-founder. What's that?
That was perfect.
Oh, yes. And co-founder of Optima Classical Academy. So OCA is a charter school, but it isn't just one of the thousands of charter schools around the globe. Optima Classical Academy is the world's first virtual reality charter school. So please help me welcome Adam Mangana to my channel.
And Kasie, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share what we think is going to be a blessing for so many families.
I'm so excited to hear about this. So I keep clicking buttons. So just so you all know, I do have my notes on the side, but I will be checking to see if you have questions in the chat. So if you have any questions for me or for Adam, just put them in the chat box and I will let him know. So, all right. I have to tell you, I'm a bit awestruck by the thought of chatting with you about the world's first ever virtual reality charter school. So how long have you been working on making this project come to fruition?
So I was a classics major in undergrad, and I've always loved the classics and took some engineering courses. And because of my computer science background, as I got into the school business, I was always kind of placed in the role of running the coding program at the school. And so about 7 years ago, I was looking for ways to broaden the student interest and really recruit a wider swath of students to participate in our coding program. And so I stumbled upon virtual reality, and my initial idea was, instead of just having programmers on the team, I could get folks who were interested in particle effects and sound and lighting and other elements of VR development. And so I could get, a more diverse team, and attract a wider group. And so that's how I started. And the technology has just moved so quickly. And so about 4 years ago, I started my master's program at Vanderbilt, and I did a capstone project in virtual reality education and how to leverage virtual reality to make learning more efficient. And so I began to build the largest VR labs. And I built one in Jackson, Mississippi and Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And I was building them in the Deep South, and ran into a friend of mine who was starting a virtual reality development company. And we started to figure out, okay, how could we apply this? And right as we got kind of started, the pandemic hits. I was running a school at the time, and the world pivoted to Zoom. And we said, this is the best time to try Ready Teacher One School. And so about 2 years ago, we started and just with an 8th grade class and taught class in the metaverse. And because everyone was home, we started inviting famous people to class. And so we had Brett Favre come to class.
Wow.
And viral, and he had some great commentary for the kiddos, and then people began to take notice, and so 2 years later, we've now built a curriculum and built a way to enroll, and we see this as a great way to maintain what I call the common courtesy of connection, maintain relationships, because you can be present with people in ways that you can't in Zoom.
Wow, that's awesome. So really quick, for those that don't know sports, so if you would have said like some movie star, I know he's been in one, but I wouldn't have known, but sports.
Something about Mary. Yeah, Brett Favre was something about Mary, that's right.
Yes. Do you want to tell people who he is?
Yeah, Brett Favre is a Hall of Fame quarterback who happens to live in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he's just an incredible guy. And he came to the 8th grade class to talk to them about leadership. And so that clip is still up on YouTube somewhere, but he's just a really, really, really good guy. And that made news. It was newsworthy. And that's where the first idea kind of percolated out. And I got really fortunate. I met Erica Donnells, who's the CEO of the Optima Foundation, and she and I share a love for classical education. And we wanted to find a way for the power of Socratic discussion and the elements of the classical education, which are rooted in relationships with the teachers and deep, rich content. We wanted to find a way to bring that to families who wouldn't have access to a brick and mortar classical building.
Great. Let's see. So we do have some questions in the chat. I know you were hoping for questions. So let's see. Hello, Kelly. Kelly said she was first. So she got here first this morning. And Shashan is here. Hello. Are you hiring teachers?
Yes. You know, it's been fascinating. That has shocked us how much interest there's been. And we really, the cool thing is people can teach from anywhere in the world. So teaching is becoming a lifestyle as people are untethering to physical buildings like you are innovating here. You can do that from Bali, you can do that from Sri Lanka, you can do that from Paris, you can do that from Kilkenny, Ireland, right? You can travel around the world. And as Augustine said, the world is a novel. If you stay in one place, you've only read one chapter. So teachers that are looking for a lifestyle are very fascinated by this because they can take their class with them, Magic School Bus style, and they can be in Rome, right? Be in Rome in virtual reality, take their headset off and show kids the reality, the good, true, and beautiful Rome itself. So teachers have been, we have a long waiting list and we can't hire everyone, but we are hiring and we've been really lucky. We've been able to get nationally board certified teachers, really talented folks with a lot of experience. So we feel very, very confident about our teaching talent right now.
That's awesome. You know, you speak my language. You're talking about Magic School Bus and Brett Favre. This is like
serendipity.
Right. So let's see. As an online educator, I'm always interested to reflect upon and speak with others about the validity of online learning and how to humanize the classroom. So tell me how you feel that your program is addressing this.
That is such a great question. And for our educators, many of you guys, we start with the ancients. We start with Egypt and Athens, and we think about Socrates, right? And Socrates was skeptical of books. He was skeptical of an emerging technology. So I think it's healthy for us to be skeptical of any technology, right? And so one of the ways in which I approached virtual reality as I was skeptical of it initially, and I wanted to use it first. I wanted to see, because what I noticed was that it was being commercialized. Like, let's put folks in and let's simulate a roller coaster. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that is not the power of virtual reality. For us, what we know to be true that other people would disagree with us on is virtual reality is really an opportunity for us to interact socially. And so one of the things that I think is really important to the learning process is that we learn collectively, we learn socially. So when you compare that to other online programs, right? Most online programs are programs that you're learning in a student-paced fashion. You're learning by yourself. You're basically getting an online textbook and you have to kind of pace it yourself. And in the example where we are synchronous, we're using the wrong platform. We're using the checkerboard of faces, the Zoom, right? And so now teachers have to manage 25 different squares in which they really have no control. Well, when we put the virtual reality headset on, we're back to one classroom at which the teacher is the center. And so that allows teachers to have more control of the content. And that content is really, really important. And so people will get confused by the VR. The magic isn't really the VR. The magic is really the time-tested content, but it's delivered in a new and more engaging way. I'll leave the question with this idea. One of my mentors, Cal Newport, says, focus is the new IQ. And the biggest challenge in online education is that it's so distracting. We're on a phone, we're somebody's touching us. It's not inherently engaging. And VR is the most engaging delivery. And so when you marry that to the best content, you have a really exciting recipe.
I'm still just processing everything. I am like fascinated by all of this. So I'm like, and imagining what it would look like. So.
We have the demo. I'm gonna have to drive up and put you in a headset.
Right.
we do offer, for everybody who's live now, we do offer every Tuesday, we do a come see us in action. So you can come to a VR field trip. We'll take you to Rome. We'll take you to, the moon, and we'll run a mini lesson. So anybody can do that. And you can actually access our content on a phone or a browser. It's just not even close to the experience of 6 degrees of freedom in a VR headset.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I get motion sick on the roller coaster ones. I hope you don't mind this question, but does anyone feel that in there? It probably takes some time to get used to, I'm sure.
We call it our VR legs, but I will tell you, that's one of the
VR.
things that is really, really important, how people first experience it. I think VR, the industry has done itself a disservice with, with having gaming and roller coasters kind of lead the technology.
Yeah.
I think the best applications are for things like training and education. And the studies coming out of Stanford agree with me. Kids learn things twice as fast, but so do adult learners. So if you're training surgeons, or you're looking at anything really small or really large, or even kind of high risk, low frequency scenarios like rescue missions, right? Those simulations and virtual reality can be really powerful learning tools. But I would say that the critical part is that it happens socially as opposed to single player, which is the way that the most people's VR experiences have kind of started.
Right.
In a more
So
isolated way.
What's that?
In a more isolated way. VR shouldn't be isolating. It should be a way to bring us together.
Right. So you have someone saying, hi, Dr. Yusina Holmes Morris. I hope I said your name right. Hello.
She's incredible. She's leading the VR efforts at Morehouse College.
Excellent. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is great. All right. So let's see. So another issue I come across is parents stating that their child struggles to attend both in-person learning as well as online learning. So how do you think virtual learning may be able to assist students who may struggle with remaining attentive to the instruction?
Yeah.
You kind of touched on that.
Focus is the new IQ, right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at kind of, why classical education is such a important medium is it gets us back to what is true, good, and beautiful. It gets us back to reading, writing, and arithmetic, the skills that are timeless, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the things is, as you're looking at a lot of the ed tech companies, we're an education experience company. We're not an ed tech company. And so when you look at the ed tech companies, they're thinking about how will things change? Our team is looking at how will things stay the same? So the Iliad, the Odyssey, the great books, these are things that won't change. But how do we deliver them in an online fashion that maintains the integrity of that program and empowers young people? If you think about it, right? Like, especially for Black and brown children, if they have 50 novels in their home, they are 95% likely to attend college, right? And that goes for everybody. Wow. That goes for all children, right? But in particular right now, if you look at the consequence of the pandemic, our kids have not learned how to read, learned how to do, basic arithmetic. And so if we can be a blessing to families who are trying to engage their children in academic experiences that matter, we want to be academically serious, but we want to be engaging. And I think that the medium allows for a level of focus that you cannot create in a Zoom meeting.
Excellent. Focus is so important, especially for someone like me. I am ADHD, so I love learning about being.
You thrive in a VR school.
I would. Oh, I got to check this all out. So the name of the academy includes classical. Can you share with us a bit about the curriculum that will be used in the classroom?
Love it. Love it. Yeah. This is the secret sauce here. Classical education is not just the great books. It's not just Socratic discussions, but it is fundamentally about creating incredible discussions, Socratic discussions with a teacher who values the relationship between students and teacher. And so we hire folks who have incredibly deep domain expertise. They know their subject area well, and they're able to create accountability with students and relationships with students where students want to perform. And we're delivering that in an engaging platform, but kids are not in VR headsets all day, right? So the live instruction runs from 8 to 12, and we run it in 35-minute segments. But it's just as important to us what happens when the VR headset comes off. So we use a two-dimensional learning management system, Canvas, to measure what's happening. As a teacher, you remember the old school way we learned, right? I do, we do, you do. Our
Yeah.
I do's and our you do's are in Canvas. Our we do's are in virtual reality. So imagine you're teaching third graders how to label the parts of a plant, right? And so you might have a two-dimensional video of yourself talking about xylem and phloem and the parts of a plant. But then we go into the VR experience together, and you're giving them live real-time feedback as they are manipulating the parts of a plant and making that knowledge real, having that knowledge come to life, and being able to make that process more efficient. And then they come out of the headset and we're able to measure, we're able to assess, how did that lesson go, right?
Yeah.
And so teachers have a lot of data, a lot of feedback with which to become even better relationship builders, right?
Yeah.
With their students.
I like seeing you talk about it. You can see like your passion for it and everything just by talking about it right now. So
a life's dream, a life's work for me.
yes. Jan Mangana, she said she's very proud of you, very valuable work. And Dr. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Yusina said, thank you for having me. Adam rocks. That's awesome. I love that you've got people in the chat box too.
Oh,
Keep talking in the chat box. We love it. So, okay, your academy is currently enrolling scholars for the August 22 semester. So at this time, the academy is only enrolling students in Florida. Do you have any plans to expand to the other states?
We have a very exciting announcement. We're actually going to be rolling out a private option so that families can enroll all over the world. And so outside of Florida, we'll have that. It is completely tuition free in the state of Florida. We would love to see that happen in all of the states. And so we are the only virtual reality, virtual instruction provider. So if your audience goes to the Florida Department of Education and they're looking for online options, we are one of the 10 virtual instruction providers. And as a teacher, you probably know if anyone has an online charter school in Florida, they have to pick from an online virtual instruction provider to get the curriculum, right? And so we're one of 10 of those options in the state of Florida. So any family can access us for free and can take courses for free if they live in the state of Florida. We would love to do that in every other state. And so we actually are working right now to expand to Tennessee, to expand to Utah, a couple of other states that are excited about what we're doing. And eventually we'll be in all 50 states. But in the short run, because we've had so much demand, we've offered a tuition driven model, a private model that anybody outside of Florida can enroll in immediately.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I didn't know that before writing these questions, guys. So I see you're a student at Vanderbilt. Did you ever imagine that you would be opening a virtual reality school in 2022 as we navigate through this pandemic?
So I was at the Peabody College at Vanderbilt, which is just an incredible program, one of the strongest education programs in the country. And I was with a cohort of 20. We're called the Delta cohort, and these are still some of my very best friends on the planet. And there was a moment that my friends, if you asked any of them, could tell you about when I told them 5 years ago, 4 years ago, no, it was 5 years ago. I said to them, within 5 years, we'll be going to school completely in the metaverse. And they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. They were all polite because they were my friends, but they thought I was crazy. So I've been about crazy for 5 years, and now it's coming to fruition. I don't think any of us thought that I would be the one building it, but I was confident at that time that the internet in general would be moving into 3 dimensions, and that somebody would need to figure out how to help children become citizens in that environment, because it would be inevitable that we would be in that environment. And that's why we're building Optima Classical Academy, because VR will occupy the social lives and the entertainment lives of our students, but someone's got to occupy the moral lives, right? And so part of classical education is developing virtue. What kind of citizen are you going to be? And so that's just as important to us as having those students learn how to operate the technology.
So let's see, we have from Tina, one problem with EdTech is that most of the time educators, instructional designers, curriculum developers, childhood development professionals are all left out of the development process.
Yeah, well, we've been really fortunate. Like the talent that we've been able to assemble. We have people who have master's degrees in instructional design. We have PhDs in curriculum. We have leading classical education experts all coming together in the same space to figure out how to take that time-tested curriculum and marry it to this new delivery. We see that online education is going to be something that continues to expand because the cost of brick and mortar buildings is just going to continue to go up.
Right.
And those costs create an opportunity cost between paying teachers and delivering, right? So ultimately, if your virtual school building can be 10 times more impressive than your physical school building and cost nothing, right? You can put all of that money back into your faculty, and you can hire the very best instructional designers and PhD candidates or PhDs in curriculum, and you can have the best talent. So I think over time, it will be very clear that the online world is going to be where the talent is at a premium. I've
just been talking about this very thing lately. I feel like a lot of teachers are leaving brick and mortar and coming to online. So we were just talking about this yesterday.
It's interesting that you say that. It's what we found is that people are wanting to decouple some of the operational headaches from just can I be a teacher, right? Like they don't want to be a COVID nurse. They don't want to be a car line operator. They don't want to be a lunch lady. They don't want to be, they really want to focus on building relationships and being instructional leaders, right? They want to help students fall in love with reading. Yes. And when you're going to do all this other stuff, it's challenging to have them, love their favorite novel, right? So that's what we want to get back to, is the curriculum, the content.
All right. So what are the age groups for this right now?
Yeah, so it's available right now, 3rd through 8th grade. One of the key features for us is we want to make sure that students are independent. One of the challenges during the pandemic was parents were kind of thrust into the role of being the paraprofessional at the house, printing and all that kind of stuff. So we really have built in a focused on user design and user experience. And that's part of the reason we have such talented instructional designers on the team. And so we want students to be able to operate the curriculum independently.
Right. So Carla, she said, so awesome. Patrick Sherman, it says, as Adam's program advisor at Vanderbilt, I'm not surprised one bit that he is the one leading the charge with an innovative model of engaging students, faculty, and families in world-class learning.
He was an incredible mentor and believed in me before anybody else did. So so much love, Patrick.
Just speaking about good teachers and mentors, right?
Oh my goodness. And the power of, he really taught me what I call the common courtesy of connection. He organized things in cohorts, and it's something that we're looking forward to bringing to the model that we're building.
Excellent. So how do parents in Florida or anywhere now, right, can enroll their students in your program?
Oh my goodness, so exciting. So exciting. Very easy. You can do it within 5 minutes.
Okay.
If anyone's interested, you go to www.optimaclassical.org.
Okay.
And click on enrollment, and everything that you need to know is already in your head. It's not one of those situations where let me go find this form and this form. Enroll. And so it's a very, very easy step-by-step process. We line those steps up on the website. We also have a video for those who would prefer to watch the video of someone walking them through it.
Excellent.
Optimaclassical.org.
Oh, say it one more time.
www.optimaclassical.org.
Okay, and I will add that to the description box below to make it easier for you guys just to click and copy and paste, or just click on it. So, and if teachers are interested, how can they apply to be one of your members on the team?
Same website. We are thrilled, and we have an incredible talent assembled right now, and we're going to be expanding to hiring talent for the private side. So that website is in development at the moment. So I would say either if you're interested in working on the public side, go to www.optimaclassical.org. And if you're interested in the private side, we'll have that up. This is the first group I've announced it to. So we'll be launching that website early next week.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's great. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share this with this exciting news with all of us and your upcoming semester. I want to wish you the best of luck and just on this truly amazing endeavor. So I'm so excited. Is there anything else you want to let us know before we go?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Teacher Kasie. I think, you've already been just a gift and a light for so many families that are trying to navigate, what do I do at home with our children, right? And so Optima Domi is all the best at home in Latin.
Okay.
And so as we think about, more and more families wanting to have their kids close to them, right? So 60% of folks are staying home working. And so there's an inevitability as we think about more and more families wanting to be engaged in the educational lives of their kids. We want to be a partner. And so I would just invite your audience, as they're learning more, please give us feedback. We're building something that we want them to use and to value. And the key component is that you can bring your child back to the center of that process of their own development, which we think is the healthiest place for them to be.
Great. And actually, we do have another really good question in the chat. So how does this fit with a homeschool model for parents with older kids?
Oh, tremendous. So love that question. This is really designed for families who are looking at wanting to enroll in coursework. And so if they've used a classical curriculum, you can sign up by course. We are right now starting with the full slate. So kids are enrolling full time. And so as I'm hearing that question, the subtext of that question is, how flexible is the curriculum? If they're interested in the flexibility, they'll need to look at the private model because they can they'll have more flexibility. If they're interested in enrolling full time, they should probably prefer the public model in Florida. So if they're looking for singleton courses or they're looking for more flexibility, that right now is going to be offered within the private structure. If they're looking for enrolling full time, that's the www.optimaclassical.org. And over time, we'll allow that to be more flexible too. But right now it's a complete program. And part of the classical experience is that curriculum is a singular word. It is complete. And so we want to make sure that students are prepared. And so that offering is a complete program.
Excellent. Great question, Carla. And is it Nuris Hernandez said, love you, Adam. Congratulations. And Dr. Bucina said, Optima Classical Academy is breaking the mold for education. Congratulations, Adam. Proud of you. You said you were going to do this. You did it. So on that note, thank you everyone so much for coming. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and possibly subscribe if you like following all things teaching. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Thanks,
Adam.
Thank you. It was a blast.